Deaf and hearing impaired people in Nigeria may benefit from an initiative to empower them with tech skills.
Katsina State indigents will be looking forward to improved primary health care as the government promises to sustain achievements recorded in the sector. Hello, and thanks for tuning into the show that goes around the continent to bring you stories near and far. I'm Joke Rogers at Channels Television here in Lagos, and I'm joined by Vincent McCory from the Voice of America in Washington, D.C.
Thanks, I'm Vincent McCory at the Voice of America. Happy to be with you again for another edition of Africa 54. Let's start off with the latest from Nigeria. Joke Rogers in Lagos brings you that story.
Diko Rada of Katsina State in northwest Nigeria has restated his commitment to sustaining the achievements recorded by the state in the areas of immunization and primary healthcare development, as he promises to strengthen existing partnerships with the Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunization. According to the governor, the support from the alliance has helped the state to strengthen its healthcare infrastructure and vaccine distribution.
For 3 years now, Katsina has enjoyed a memorandum of understanding with the Global Alliance and Immunization to strengthen healthcare infrastructure, vaccine distribution, and immunization coverage in the states. Under the implementation period, several healthcare infrastructure were either built or renovated. The UNICEF country director, represented by the chief of UNICEF, Kano Field Office, is here with his team to hand over one of such newly constructed primary healthcare centers to the government.
As UNICEF hands over the program to the Katsina State government today, UNICEF calls for a continued investment of adequate resources by the Katsina State government to sustain the notable achievement recorded during the implementation of the MOU, including improvements in critical indicators and increased capacities to service delivery, human resources, supply chain management, health information system, and governance across the state.
The UNICEF team also donated vaccine refrigeration van to the Katsina State government and commended the state government for the absorption of 478 Gavi-trained healthcare workers into the state civil service. In his remarks, the state governor assures that his administration will sustain the achievements so far recorded by the Gavi initiative.
We will continue investing in primary healthcare infrastructure and human resources as we demonstrated in the last 18 months of this administration, strengthening the implementation of primary healthcare under one roof policy to ensure that integrated and effective healthcare delivery system in the state. Prioritize funding for immunization programs and routine healthcare services. Enhance collaboration with partners and stakeholders to drive innovative healthcare solutions. In the light of the foregoing, may I use this opportunity to call on Gavi, UNICEF, WHO, and other partners to continue to support our state in areas of healthcare strengthening, maternal and child health, and disease prevention.
The Katsina State government is hoping to upscale healthcare services, especially in rural areas, as it makes intentional investments in primary healthcare infrastructure across the states.
Joining us to talk more on efforts of the Katsina State government to improve primary healthcare is Executive Secretary, Katsina State Primary Healthcare, Dr. Shamsuddin Yahya. You're welcome to the program. Can you share some of the most notable healthcare achievements in Katsina State under your leadership, and how have these impacted the lives of citizens, particularly in rural areas?
We have, since the inception of this administration, we've recorded tremendous success in terms of activities we've conducted at the primary healthcare space. A little context to that is we have 34 LGAs, 361 wards, and 1,750 public primary healthcare facilities. What we have tried to do in the last 2 days is to strengthen the health system, looking at various, thematic areas: leadership and governance, service delivery, human resource for health, logistic and supply chain management, and health management information system.
What efforts have been made to strengthen primary healthcare infrastructure in the state, including the renovation of or construction of new healthcare facilities?
In this aspect, Katsina said I will rank it first among its equals in terms of massive infrastructural investment, because like I've said earlier, we have 361 wards. The vision of His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, Malam Duka Umar Radai, is to have one functional PHC in all the 361 wards. So far, we are on the right track, because right now we have renovated and revitalized 158 facilities since the coming of this administration. And for 2025 alone, His Excellency has approved additional 102 facilities. So if you do the maths, you see that we are almost, before the end of this first tenure, we will have made provision for one fully functional PHC facility per ward. And when we talk about revitalization, it includes infrastructure, equipment, water supply, off-grid electricity, fencing, staff quarters, and borehole, and ambulance, tricycle ambulance. So these are 6 or 7 things that when we say we revitalize primary health facilities, this is what we have done. And this is massive infrastructural, investment that His Excellency has done, which we have never seen such a monumental, investment in terms of infrastructure at the primary healthcare level.
Tell us how the Katsina State government is addressing the challenge of healthcare workforce development, including the training and recruitment of healthcare professionals.
We have trained over 5,000 frontline healthcare workers in the comprehensive primary healthcare services. We have also engaged 150 midwives to work in the facilities. Through the Gavi PC MOU, we have also engaged additional 438 frontline primary healthcare workers who are going to work in the rural areas. This is in addition to massive ongoing, over 650 healthcare workers have been recruited in the secondary level of care. And we have commenced residency training program by this government in key areas of medicine, surgery, family medicine, obstetrics, and ONG and pediatrics, so that we'll be able to produce enough manpower. And I know that 41 medical students have been sponsored to read medicine outside the country. And this year also, we are planning to make a lot of recruitment to address the issue of human resource. And for healthcare workers, in terms of their salary and remuneration, is the government is giving whatever is the condition of services are similar to what is obtainable at the tertiary level of care. This is to make sure that we retain healthcare workers to provide services.
And what plans are in place to ensure the sustainability of the Katsina State's healthcare achievements and future initiatives or projects being explored to further improve the outcomes for citizens?
Yes, with this investment we have done, what the government is trying to do is to ensure that we have continuity, sustainability. Some of the achievement we recorded we did it in collaboration with development partners. Others, like the infrastructure, is by government. So most of these things we have created budget lines. And, every year, like, for example, investment in nutrition, this is from government alone was able to provide that huge investment, infrastructure, and even for human resource. So we have a lot of political will and commitment based on that. And the government of the day has prioritized healthcare delivery, and especially primary healthcare. And with this, we will make sure that all the gains that we have are sustainable. So there is a lot of political will and commitment, and the government is also investing in other social services, because if you want to address malnutrition, you need to, invest in agriculture, education, water resources. So there are other sectors that are complementary to health sector. Government is working on that sectors, and with that, and with specific budget line, with prompt approval and releases of proposals and memos. So we are very optimistic that all these gains that we have are going to be sustained.
We must thank you for your time today, Executive Secretary, Katsina State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Shamsuddin Yahya.
From security to politics, the spread of false information is a constant threat in Burkina Faso. Gildas Da has a look.
A show of unity between Burkina Faso's Foreign Affairs Minister and Chinese ambassador in October. A fabricated story had falsely claimed the two countries has broken relations. Minister Karamoko Jean-Marie Traoré called the story diplomatic sabotage. On social media and in WhatsApp groups, false information is a constant threat. Jordan Meda is the editorial director at the local fact-checking platform Faso Check. He says there are two types. Misinformation is shared without the intention to cause harm.
On the other hand, there's what we call disinformation, which is the creation and spread of false content with the clear intent to deceive a community or individual and cause harm to a person, cause, or institution.
At L'Observateur Palga, one of the leading daily newspapers in Burkina Faso, journalist Hugues Sama says his group is taking the problem seriously.
Even a trained eye can be fooled. So what L'Observateur does is provide context on every piece of information we receive. We must also verify it.
When military leader Ibrahim Traoré disappeared from public view for a few days in June, speculation and fabricated videos were rife on social media. Skilled fact-checkers were able to set the record straight. But these incidents are damaging, say experts.
For a citizen to be well informed, they must have access to balanced and accurate information. When they are overwhelmed by fake news, they don't have all the necessary information to have an enlightened view of national life. This is a problem.
Meda says world powers are vying for influence across the Sahel and promoting their own narratives. But he says they are not alone.
Internally, you also have groups of people who, convinced of their beliefs, spread false narratives. They broadcast them and people believe them.
Analysts caution that ongoing conflict in Burkina Faso is intensifying the spread of false information. Meda says that advancements in technology are likely to amplify the reach and impact of misinformation, making their efforts even more essential. Gildas Da, VOA Africa, Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso.
The United Nations Women, in collaboration with the Bayelsa State Government and the FACE Initiative, have established the Bayelsa Food Hub and graduated beneficiaries from an extensive training program in food processing and business management.
Bayelsa State is gearing up for agribusiness, and the UN Women, through its support for Rural Women program, has equipped 300 women with skills in food processing, business management, and sustainable farming practices. The newly established Bayelsa Food Hub is designed to provide women and girls with a well-equipped facility for food processing to boost food security in the state.
Bayelsa is able to feed itself and exports worldwide when it comes to seafood. So because of that, the food hub was established so that we can take advantage of the comparative advantage that we have with our water bodies, with the ocean, with the seas, with the rivers, creeks, lakes, ponds that we have in Bayelsa, and use the resources that is in those water bodies to bless ourselves and also to make money for ourselves.
Bayelsa women leaders at the event urged beneficiaries to maximize the opportunities presented by the program.
This training is not for you to sit back. It's for you to teach others. Go to the various local government, meet the legislators, meet the commissioner. How are we going to do this thing? We will gather the women and we teach not only the women, our children.
The project strategist underscores the transformative impact of empowering rural women.
We've moved women from a point of just doing trade to having a structured business. And you know that this will allow them have more access to finance, will allow them become bankable. It also helps to drive financial inclusion. It also helps to drive women empowerment. It helps to reduce the rate of gender-based violence, because when these women are actively involved, in a useful trade, it reduces the chances of total dependency on women and making them vulnerable for, sexual exploitation.
Expressing her support for the initiative, the wife of the Bayelsa State Governor is optimistic that their new businesses will help stabilize food prices in the state.
So the women of Bayelsa, the time to stop sitting idle is over. The time to fold your hands and look for help is over. Now we have been given the net, not the fish. Take this net into the deep and fish out for yourself, and all of us will be happy. Prosperity will be for Bayelsans.
While the UN country representative to Nigeria and ECOWAS highlights the importance of investing in women.
We have not just focused on one group of women, we have touched different groups of women. We are going to have more food in Bayelsa. And with the fact that we have the processing units, we are going to reduce food wastage, because it is recorded that 40% of food in Africa is lost through post-harvest. So we have bridged the gap, the planting and the harvesting, the processing and the marketing. So it's a whole value chain that we are looking at.
For the beneficiaries, the training is a life-changing experience.
I'm so excited, For this season, it's cassava is very expensive, and for government to come up with something like this to empower the women, I feel so excited, and I'm very happy. And I want to pray that they should continue it, because we, the women, we are happy, we appreciate it, and we are going to make a very good use of it.
It has been an eye-opener, and I am very grateful to the Office of the United Nations Women and the First Lady of Bayelsa State. Thank you so much for finding us worthy to be part of this program, and we know that with what we have learned, we'll be able to keep the flag flying.
The event ends with the official distribution of cassava stems and other agricultural inputs to the beneficiaries, marking a new phase in their journey towards economic self-sufficiency.
It's time now for a short break. As we do, we remind you to visit our website, channelstv.com, for news and programming around the clock. You can also find us at youtube.com/channelsweb. And still to come, meet 3 Nigerian sisters flying high as commercial airline pilots.
Welcome back to Africa 54. I'm Vincent McCory in Washington. An estimated 9 million Nigerians are deaf or have hearing impairments, and many cope with discrimination that limits their access to education and employment. But one initiative is working to change that, empowering deaf people with tech skills to improve their career prospects. Timothy Obiezu reports from Abuja.
This may look like a regular classroom, but here, assistive technology such as real-time captions and sign language is the primary mode of instruction. 3 years ago, Dr. Rowella Yola launched the Deaf in Tech initiative to equip deaf individuals with in-demand tech skills, including data analysis, Python programming, software development, and web design.
Tech is a leveler, and providing tech skills empowers the deaf person to be able to do more, to be able to work, to be more visible for employment.
Deaf in Tech also partners with companies to connect students with job opportunities. Ayola says the program has provided life-changing opportunities for more than 1,000 deaf individuals, many of whom have launched successful careers in tech.
The national monitoring dashboard for the 2023 election, and it was built by the deaf community. That dashboard was outstanding. That's what was showed on most of our national media.
Nigeria is home to an estimated 25 million people with disabilities, including the 9 million with hearing difficulties. A survey by a disability rights group, the Inclusive Friends Association, found that 90% of Nigerians with disabilities face systemic exclusion from education, technology, and employment, leaving them economically disadvantaged. This is despite Nigeria's 2019 National Disability Act, which was designed to promote inclusion. Victor Oricha, a computer science graduate, joined DeafInTech last year and now works as an instructor.
Here, the access is there. There's a sign language interpreter, so everyone, even the staffs here, some of them want that language and they could communicate with me. So I felt very welcomed.
For students like Veronica Sunday, the goal is to use their new skills to secure high-paying jobs.
If I can get a job, of course, I don't mind. Also, it's technology-based knowledge, so I can use it to work in a tech field or use it to also sell my businesses.
To expand access to training, Ayola launched an online learning platform called DeafLearn, inspired by platforms like Udemy and Coursera. With more funding, he hopes to extend the DeafInTech initiative to Lagos, Ghana, and Rwanda this year. As Nigeria's tech sector booms, initiatives like DeafInTech are breaking down barriers and challenging stereotypes about disability, one deaf professional at a time. Timothy Obiezu, VOA News, Abuja, Nigeria.
Despite a steady increase in female pilots over the past decades, the global count of women holding commercial pilot licenses remains relatively low. According to a 2021 study by the International Society of Women Airline Pilots, less than 6% of pilots worldwide are women. But never in the world have we seen three sisters who are pilots. That's the story of the Makinde sisters, Lola, Sheon, and Fumi, who shared their journeys with Kelly Agiga.
This is the story of three sisters who have conquered the skies. Following in her father's footsteps, Captain Mopelola is the first of 7 girls and embarked on a journey to become a helicopter pilot. With unwavering support from her family, she overcame various hurdles and obtained her pilot's license. The middle sister was equally captivated by her father's profession. Listening to tales of courage and precision required in piloting helicopters, she was determined to carve her own path in the skies. And the youngest of the trio and the family of 7 girls, Oluwafumilayo, chose to take a different route while still keeping her feet firmly in the aviation industry. While Captain Lola and Sheon ventured into the world of helicopters, Fumilayo pursued a career as a fixed-wing pilot.
It's a beautiful experience. It's been a beautiful experience. It still is for me. It's good when I hear we are amongst the 10% of women in the world. So it's something I'm happy and proud about to be.
Oh, my dad is a pilot. And they're like, oh, really? I never really saw it as anything so serious before. Not until recently, but I mean, it was a job. Personally, I didn't stereotype any job. I didn't think it was just a man's job.
One day being in the kitchen and I just heard plane passing and I just ran out. I was fond of doing it every time. I would just stare at that bird, iron bird in the sky, and she just looked at me and she's like, do you want to fly? And I was like my dad, she said, no, the planes. And I was like, yeah.
These 3 sisters have not only shattered stereotypes, but have also soared to great heights in their career path as pilots.
But be an inspiration to young girls and to the rest of the world that you can do this, you can stand out, you can dare to dream.
Come fly with me. Come join us.
Let's go.
And as the Makinde sisters continue to soar high in the skies, their story will undoubtedly inspire future generations to reach for the stars and break barriers fearlessly. Their legacy will remain etched in the annals of the aviation history, reminding us all that dreams have no boundaries and that With passion and perseverance, anything is possible.
Well, and that's our show for today. You can find all the continent's top news and world news online at voaafrica.com. Check it out. I'm Vincent McCory in Washington. Channels Television has our last word.
We look forward to bringing you another show next week. Remember that channelstv.com is your source for news and other programming. I'm Joke Rogers. Thanks for watching and goodbye.